All right, so today in the Discord, we've got Wingless asking how to be a playmaker. So he says, I recently got some notes on my gameplay as an Omen main, and one of them was that I wasn't the playmaker in most rounds. So I was just hoping to get some advice on how I should be thinking and positioning myself to be the playmaker more often. And then Marco commented, it's really as simple as making a play, yada yada. And Wingless clarified, I'm hoping for more insight into how to be the playmaker in solo queue when it's harder to coordinate. Like, how should I be thinking about my positioning and such? So, first of all, I do want to clarify. I don't think it's harder to coordinate in solo queue, by the manner of it explicitly being solo queue. Most people queue ranked to win. Um, Most people want to see a dub. So, when you're queuing, play with that assumption and always try to coordinate. Start with the assumption that your team, someone on your team, will be conducive to your strats. All you need is one person. Otherwise, we can talk about how to passively involve your team or devour them, as some people would say. So, some people being ants on. So if we're talking about straight playmaking ability on Omen, there's a few things you need to consider. First of all, you should be aware of like strong flashes on the map, which you can do by just like going around on every map, or you can do by like watching how people play. Like I got this from watching Flex Ninja, or you can literally just go on a map and be like, okay, what is a long corridor on the map where Omen's flash is parallel to the exit. So that would be something like this, parallel to the exit, where it's very hard for them to avoid because they have to come out into the flash. So that's why Dice, for example, is so strong. That's why Tree is also strong. And you can do this on every map. This would be for defense, and then you can do the same thing for offense. What's the way that I can flash the most dangerous positions? So like there's various Omen flashes you could do, but like one of these is clearly better. You're not seeing what I'm doing at all. All right. One of these is clearly better, right? I hope you can tell which. And then this is what I was showing with a Dyson tree earlier. You want to go for these straight lines outside of the choke points. And here is that Flex Ninja little note that I was referencing earlier. Yeah. So you can just go around every map and see what are some straight lines where I could do some damage, get some flashes going. And then you can also think, what are some general good TPs? So first amongst that would be getting verticality, right? Going from sight to escape to heaven, going on top gen, getting like this off angle in the post plant while heaven is smoked off. It's TPing into your smokes. Like what are like weird smokes you could do that you could TP into, or thinking calling for flashes and TPing anything really. With your TP, you just to do this, what I like to tell people is to have 1.2 to 1.5 or 1.2 plus TP usage per round. So every round you should be using a TP, and sometimes you're gonna waste it, but the ideal is that you just learn by doing, and by doing enough, you'll get comfortable with doing some crazy shit with your TPs, and you'll learn the hard way whether or not it's good. So that'll help. Getting comfortable with your flashes will help. Knowing some one ways might be helpful. I've got a video on that you may have seen. Just switch to that real quick. VOD. Should be able to see, right? No. Strange. There we are. So you may have seen this video. If not, here's a comprehensive guide to every Omen one way you might need. So watch that if you're missing out on knowledge for that stuff. Yeah, and then as for like raw playmaking ability, and like application to doing it like for the solo queue is like harder to coordinate. So like let's say you couldn't get your teammates to coordinate with you, which usually is more of a an intonation and communication issue rather than a teammate issue. Like usually it's because you're talking like I've been throughout this whole thing where you're just going, yeah, blah blah blah. When you do that, No one wants to listen to you. No one wants to coordinate. No one wants to be led by somebody who sounds boring. So you want to inject intonation, variance in intonation. You want to inject variance in volume. You want to inject variance in repetition to emphasize certain things. And when you do that, people are more likely to follow you. They'll notice that you're more lively. And you could tell just from watching me, I'm moving around a lot more when I talk like this. And I'm like literally more lively. And you can hear that. Even if you only had the audio version of this, you would still be able to hear the fact that I'm more lively and I'm more engaged with the conversation that I'm having with the camera. So that's a really important part before you even think about, oh, it's harder to coordinate in solo queue and be the playmaker. It's really important to think, is it hard, or am I making it harder than it has to be? Could I be better at communication? And trust me, this takes a long time to develop. If you want to learn more about communication, leadership, and strategizing, you're going to want to join our May cohort for the Rank Up Challenge. In the challenge, you'll get access to tons of sessions from me, a community, and accountability partners to make sure that you're on your way to gaining 200 RR within 1 month. You can sign up for it using the first link in the description. And now let's get back to the video where I talk about how to never take another 1v1 in Valorant. I'm pretty good at it because I was in JROTC, and leadership and communication skills were a very important and integral part of the curriculum in JROTC, because the whole point of it was to train military leaders. So, you know, I had to learn. But if not, go watch, I don't know, Charisma on Command or Improvement Pill or someone that's got stuff on how to talk. I don't know who's got it other than Charisma on Command, because I've never had to learn it online. So, rip. So anyways, assuming that your teammates are refusing to coordinate, you have to force them to coordinate without them knowing. So some general ways to do that. For one, have good spacing. So always be second man. Hiko is really famous. Like 2 years ago, episode 1, there's like this clip of him on Haven A Long. He was playing Sova. He was talking about how in solo queue, he's never the first man in. Never. He always wants to be the guy who trades his teammate. And if you watch any Woohoojin, you'll hear that frequently as well. So this is really important on offense. Always be the second man. On post plant, be the guy who has to peek into the fight. So say you're playing post plant on A, right? So the people are coming out of these chokes. And let's say you've got, let's say you've got a one-way tree. So they can't come out tree. They can only come out heaven. We're only worried about heaven right now. Or let's say the door's closed. And you've got a teammate who's holding this angle on heaven. What you're not going to do, let's say your dice. What you're not going to do is peek this angle from here by standing. You're going to crouch and you're going to wait till you hear your teammate shooting. And then you're going to peek and you're going to kill this guy because he's not looking at you. That's how you play around your team without them knowing about it. An alternative way to do this is to like look for perpendiculars on the map. So if we go to Pearl, you see that if like you had a teammate who was on site and they're trying to take this fight here, you would play here or here, and you would peek when they take contact, when they start firing. And the whole point is you want to be the guy who can see further. So right now, this guy can see this far, and you can see all of what he sees and a little more. So you want to always make sure that you can see all of what your teammate sees and more. So right now, you're the guy in control because you can peek more stuff, but he can't. So what you want to do is not peek more stuff. You want to wait until they peek this guy, and you can peek what he's peeking. Because if you peek early, then you will peek something that he can't peek, and you can't be traded, which means you could just die for free. And that's the most common mistake people make while going for gunfights. So if you can really master this concept of only peeking stuff that a teammate is already looking at, you'll be golden. That's like the easiest way to involve your teammates without them really knowing. Yeah. Hope that helped. Good luck.